A very good happy Thursday morning to everyone out there. Baby Friday, as we like to refer to it around here as. Landon here in the driver's seat with you, strapped in, ready to rock and roll to bring you this morning's weather and night forecast courtesy of On Target. We got a pesky little weather maker right here on the horizon for us, folks. Going to be another tricky one. We could be being impacted as early as this evening and throughout the overnight with a light snow event across the region. Several question marks, folks, but with temperature profiles below freezing and a little bit of snow in the forecast, this could bring some negative impacts to the overnight commute on into our Friday morning commute as well. Let's get a look at what's going on out there. We got this meandering Gulf low. It's going to be pressing off to the east. This is pushing moisture northward out of the Gulf right up into the Tennessee and lower Ohio valleys. We got this cold front that's sliding east of the region this morning. High pressure going to be reinforcing that jolt of colder air and below average temperatures that we've been dealing with. This is a recipe for the opportunity of a little slice of wintry weather hovering right along the Kentucky and Tennessee border. We'll be diving into the details of that here in just a moment. D93 Skycam kicking things off. We got the cloud cover that's already working overhead right along and ahead of this weather maker, pushing all that cloud debris in here out of the south and out of the south and west. Visible early this morning overlooking our D93 Skycam as well as our Morgantown Skycam. Got the vehicles there moving just fine on the early morning commute. Please be aware that we do have temperatures below freezing early this morning. Still might have a few slick spots on the roadways on this morning commute as well. Want everyone to be safe. Be careful out there before they head out the door, right? Jumping over here and looking at our current conditions, we have got readings that are holding right at and just below the freezing threshold region-wide. We are at 31.9 here in Warren County, 31.2 in Butler, 31 on the dot right there along the Kentucky and Tennessee border just south of our friends down in Franklin and in Simpson County. Let's jump over here. Let's get the big picture view of what we're going to be focusing and honing in on, and that is our setup for what's going to be bringing the opportunity at a bit of a wintry mess tonight. Keep your eyes down south and look at that reflectivity light up as that low pressure draws that moisture up out of the Gulf, all right? Here we are progressing on into this afternoon, and you can see that area of high pressure moving to our north. Folks, clockwise flow with that area of high pressure is going to keep a light northerly wind component around. That's what's going to reinforce that colder air today. We're going to look at highs not escaping the low to mid 30s across the region, with the cloud cover hanging tough as well. This setup is important. With high pressure to our north, we got that northerly wind component, but we got the deep moisture being drawn up with southerly flow just south of the region. And we can take this on into the very early part of tonight and take a look at how the surface setup is going to be. This is valid for right around the 9 or 10 p.m. time frame as we work into tonight, progressing on into the pre-dawn hours of our Friday morning. Low pressure churning up that moisture. Got the northerly wind component, and you can kind of see where these two systems and these two components are going to bisect is right along northern Tennessee and southern Kentucky. I do think it's going to be a thin band, not going to be very wide at all, of wintry weather that's going to set up, and it looks like portions of the Wobbles community could be right in the bullseye of this, albeit it being a very minor snow event at best. This could still be bringing negative impacts for us. So let's break it down hour by hour here as we work throughout today. Not too much to talk about, but look at it early as this evening. A few of the short-term models are wanting to bring this in here by around 5 to 7 p.m. this evening. The moisture working in out of the south. We got the northerly wind component, and you can see where the transition line is located, cutting right across the heart of middle and southern Tennessee there. So it brings up this thin band of snow in here, again, initiating anywhere between 5 and 8 p.m. Continuing through the early part of tonight, we got scattered flurries that look like it could continue throughout the pre-dawn hours of our Friday morning. And then the bulk of that should be out of here by sunrise on Friday, with just colder temperatures to deal with yet again, all right? In regards to this, we can look at our temperature profiles. This afternoon, it looks like we're only going to make it to the mid-30s. That's important because temperatures won't have too far to fall back below freezing. The million-dollar question is exactly what time those temperatures will fall below freezing. in order to get anything to stick on the ground. You can see right here in the time frame, whenever it's bringing the snow in here, short-term models are holding us right at and just above the freezing threshold. Again, folks, we're right here on the temperature line again. Typical for Kentucky weather, right? We tend to be walking that transition zone line very often, as we did here with the most recent little winter event here a few days ago, right? So anything that we get on the ground is not going to be a lot. We're looking at a ½ inch or less. I think many of us, if we see anything, it's going to be nothing at all, up to a dusting, to be honest. But again, that's enough to mitigate travel, especially on the bridges and overpasses. We don't want to mess with that. We want everyone to stay safe on the roadways. That is for sure. Let's jump back over here and let's look at the big picture view, because after this little weather maker gets out of here, we got some meandering little weak lobes of energy that's going to be working in here out of the north and west. We work into Saturday night into our Sunday. We might have a few scattered flurries, a mixed bag of wintry precip impacting the region. And then continuing on into Monday and Tuesday, it looks like that we're going to dry back out. But these little lobes of energy coming in here out of the north and west, might have to watch a few little minor precip events. Looks like, again, temperatures are going to be waffling back and forth along the freezing threshold. But as we roll into the early and middle part of next week, temperatures should finally begin to get back closer to average for this time of year, with highs returning to around the 50-degree threshold, all right? Now, the question everybody wants to look at and know is, Landon, how much snow are we getting tonight? It's not going to be a lot. Rolling through this evening, rolling through the early morning hours of our Friday, you are looking at the probability of us receiving 1/10 of an inch of snowfall. This would be a dusting at best, and we have been blanketed with roughly a 20 to 40% probability of seeing that coming to fruition. I think those right along and east of I-65 will have a better opportunity of seeing a little bit more. We can bump this probability percentage up from a 1/10 of an inch to the probability of receiving over 1 inch of snowfall. And you all can see here, folks, those probabilities drop off tremendously. 2 to 8% chance of receiving at least 1 inch of snow. In the words of Lloyd Christmas, so you're telling me there's a chance? Well, not really with what we're seeing. We just don't quite have the moisture return that we're looking for. Maybe a dusting being squeezed out of this, ½ an inch at best. But with temperatures falling down to around the low and mid-20s by sunrise tomorrow morning, we could definitely have some slick roadways out there. So we will be watching this very, very closely. Your full 6-day weather forecast breaks it down. You got low to mid-30s for highs today with clouds hanging tough. Got the scattered light snow showers this evening and throughout the overnight with lows down to the low and mid-20s. Friday, it looks like cloud cover will hang tough. We might get some breaks of sunshine in here by Friday afternoon with highs near 40. We'll touch near 50 on Saturday with some more sunshine anticipated. Then we get the scattered hit and miss rain and snow, sleet showers there late Saturday night into our Sunday. Monday into Tuesday, we see those regulation of temperatures with highs back up between the mid and upper 40s as early as Tuesday afternoon. Friends, it's going to wrap up your Thursday morning Baby Friday edition of your Whether or Not forecast presented by On Target. You all take care of yourselves and each other. Have a fantastic next to final day of the work week.